Geeky Saiyan Army. It's Kanan.
It's Jesse.
And we are the Geeky Saiyan couple, and welcome to our RWBY Volume 7, Chapter 12 overview. Boy, what an episode. We've got a lot to cover. We've got a ton of slides, almost 300 of them. So grab a drink, grab a snack, make sure you go use the bathroom before we start this.
I tried to skip over certain things to get main points, but I still ended up with almost 300 slides.
A lot of them will just
fit together.
Yeah, a lot of them will just go over, and we won't, stay super focused on a lot of it. But, I mean, great episode. I enjoyed it. I think you did. Great fights, great storytelling in the fights, great emotional stuff. Yeah, like a lot of great stuff. And just please remember, if you enjoy this video, please think about subscribing. It would really help us out a lot. Hit the notification bell, like the video, leave us a comment. Like, you guys are free to comment anything you want to.
Don't worry if you don't see it right away. Like,
yeah.
There's a delay for us, so.
Yeah. Also, go check out my first Let's Play video. I really want that to take off. But yeah, subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, comment, share it around. Our Patreon links there, our Etsy store, our Square store, our email, our Facebook, everything is in the description. So please check all that out. And if you're ready, we will get to our first slide. Okay, well, if you're still here after that little spiel, the episode ends pretty much where a lot of people... This was besides the RWBY and Aesop's fight, this is where people really wanted to see what was going to happen. So, of course, out of everyone, Robin's the most upset. I mean, she just learned that they're declaring martial law and that they're pretty much going to abandon Mantle, the place that she has been trying to defend this whole entire volume. So that was to be expected. And of course, she's saying stuff like, we can't let him do this, though she's kind of ignoring that one of the Aesops, the leader of the Aesops, is right in front of her, which Clover tries to defend Ironwood, of course. Like when the Aesops were first introduced and they released the character cards for him, it was said that he is loyal to a T to Ironwood and will follow any order. Well, then we get this, which the RWBY Twitter released this yesterday. It's pretty much wanted posters, pretty much, saying detained on site. A lot of people were shocked that poor Oscar was wanted, because Oscar, but I do get it that Oscar also helped in keeping the secrets and all that, so, but the fact is, Ironwood knows he's Osmond, so, I don't know, just Ironwood's not been making the best decisions.
He's not thinking, that's the thing, he's gone back into that stubborn state again, so...
I don't know, I think this is worse than he's ever been.
Well, I'm saying that he's tripped back into that, and he's just acting out of it.
And it's funny because we don't see Ironwood at all this episode. Like, he's not in this episode at all. And to everyone's shock, I'm sure, Clover stands up, and he is legit going to...
ready to detain him.
Yeah, and it's just...
We've also learned that Robin really doesn't care who's standing there and what she says.
Yeah.
But also, she probably, with everything that happened up to this point where they all started, working together with things, she probably was hoping that maybe he would actually, I don't know, do the right thing.
Yeah.
But no. Tyrion.
I'm sorry. I like Tyrion as a villain. He's like my favorite villain now. Well, he's always kind of been, but it's just... I can't not laugh at him when he's acting like this. It's like last chapter when they get the announcement that, they hear what RWBY says, and he's just sitting there with a goofy grin on his face. And I even made a joke on Twitter. It was pretty much the kind of, hey, guys, I gotta stop and use the bathroom or something, just, I don't know. He's a bastard, but I like Tyrion. I really do. He's a great villain.
I still hope Crow's the one that ends him.
He probably will be. Which, I don't know I'm guessing Crow didn't look at the wanted thing.
No, because his scroll still showed the red mark that the call was, like, it was deactivated, so he couldn't use it.
So Clover's telling him that also Team RWBY is under arrest, which Crow is very shocked to hear that.
He didn't look over to see Robin's scroll either, because he was so focused on, he was looking at the scroll. It was obviously he saw the block.
Yeah.
And then looked at Clover, so he didn't even look over.
Yeah. Has James lost his mind? Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of. He kind of has. Now, this is what I love. I love that Robin is already saying that she's not for this.
And
which is what I love about Robin. She's staying true to the character that she's supposed to be, which is a vigilante who will do whatever it takes to help the people. Which, of course, she's based off Robin Hood, so of course that would be her character. So I love how she states that. I think she pretty much says that if Ironwood expected her to stand by and let him do this, that he underestimated her.
Yeah.
Which,
but
I've not been a stranger in saying that. I've not been silent in that I fell in love with Robin the moment we saw her.
Well, also when she had said, you know, pretty much he's going to be taking out anyone that stands in his way of his inhumane plan. Well, yeah, that's, you know, now she's already that quickly put together as soon as she saw that wanted list.
Mm-hmm.
This is why. So this kind of also shows that she does trust those teams now that she sees they've quickly turned against him to try to get him to do what was right, and now he wants them arrested.
And I mean, plus Blake and Yang came forward and told her and let her in on stuff.
So this really adds up that.
So it really makes me wonder by the end of maybe not the end of this volume, but maybe at some time in volume 8, it's going to be Robin and the Happy Huntresses with Team RWBY, what's left of Team Juniper, Oscar, Crow, and like it's going to be like them against Ironwood pretty much at some point. Which Clover tells her she's not under arrest, but I mean, she doesn't.
At one point, she was supposed to be.
Yeah, but the thing is, she doesn't care.
No, she doesn't.
No, she does. Please don't make me arrest you too. And Crow tries to calm the situation. He really does. And of course, Tyrion's got to give his commentary that it's
going so slow. Like he's like, it's too slow for this getting to the good part.
Yeah. Which they tell
Crow
him.
just tells him to shut up. Like, he's done with him. Like, he's tired of him.
And Robin attacks Clover. And I really did not think she would fall this easily. Like, he knocks her out pretty quickly. I guess it's the good luck, I'm guessing.
She's not out. She doesn't move for a reason. It's because she gets back up and fights again.
Oh, what? I thought this was right before it crashed. Okay, well, and of course...
You know, he said, fine. He didn't want to get up and fight, so, well, he did anyway.
Yeah, and he says he wished it hadn't come to this, but here's something about this whole thing that a ton of people are missing. Clover is letting his dedication to Ironwood and his willingness to follow orders cloud his better judgment. Which, I mean...
will lead to later with the whole luck thing, so...
Yeah. Oh, so Robin does get back
she
up.
Did get back
I had to go to work after the reaction, so I've forgotten a few things.
And I just thought, you guys can hug it out later.
Yeah, which, the irony. Robin, you broke a lot of hearts with that. So...
And then I caught this.
Yeah.
Because they're fighting and everything, they're not paying attention to Tyrion. And Robin deflected his, the end of his fishing line, and when he pulled it back too late, and it caught that bar, the secure bar that held him down, and, well, the fight continued, but look what happened.
Yep. The moment I saw that, I was like, oh, Tyrion's going to get free.
Yeah.
Yep, he gets free, and I think the first thing he does...
He knocks out the pilots.
Or kills them, either one. And I didn't notice in the reaction, but he's wearing the guy's hat.
Yeah, he is wearing the hat.
I'm sorry, that's kind of hilarious. Even though it's an awful situation, that's funny. It really is. Which Crow has a hold of him. Crow, all you had to have done is run him through at this point, but you didn't do that. Which, of course, the will of our goddess, of course. He's all Mr. Devoted.
It happened so quickly, Crow wouldn't have had a good hold on him for long because Tyrion got his knees up in between them. So he wouldn't have been able to hold on to him. He kicked him back.
Yeah, and then Tyrion just wrecks the ship himself. Like, he just... Clover bails.
Takes off. And then...
Clover bails. He leaves Crow and Robin behind. Okay, so I thought it was Clover who knocked out Robin, but it was the crash that did.
Yeah.
I was kind of disappointed that she was taken out so early, but I think there's a reason for that, which I'm going to get to a theory later in this. So then we go to Winter and Penny, which Winter is heading down to pretty much take the Winter Maiden powers because they've got to protect that. I love this. I love that Penny starts questioning what Ironwood is doing. It's kind of building on that whole Pinocchio thing of her becoming more human-like instead of being... Like, let's face it, when we first met Penny, she was still kind of robotic in a way.
But she also didn't have the friends that she does. Once everything happened with her and she was gone, I mean, she reunited with Team Ruby and Juniper and all them, like, especially after her talk with Ruby. Mm-hmm. Like, she's gotten real close with them again. The fact that...
Well, also, we've seen through this volume, it's been subtle, but they've kind of been building this little relationship between Penny and Winter a little bit. This little bit of a friendship in a way. We saw it a little bit in the early episodes, but the episodes like at the Schnee Manor, the little talk they had there, it was kind of like building that. Ever since Penny's been reborn, maybe her and Winter have gotten a little close. Not romantic or anything.
No, like just like a family member, like something like that. Because I mean, like in the manor, like Winter, when she thought she was too forceful towards Penny, she turns and she goes, no. She talks to her differently than she does everybody else. Like anybody else, like Ironwood.
And sadly, Winter is still being almost like Clover, 100% dedicated to Ironwood and his orders, claiming he's saving Remnant, but yet, Penny throws in, but all those people they just protected, they're going to leave behind and let them die. And ask Winter, does that not bother you? And the fact that Winter, it's a very interesting little thing they're doing here. It's kind of the fact that Winter, being human, being flesh and blood, is not letting it show that it may in fact bother her and kind of acting like a stone cold machine. Yet the girl who is a robot but has a soul is showing a way more humane side of things than a human is.
I think really it does really show when Winter starts to question things, and that's back when she talked with Weiss. That goes back to that. And now, even though she's not, the facial expressions, it's starting to show she really is concerned.
Yeah, she's got her back to Penny, which is hiding it.
She is concerned, and she doesn't, she's still trying to follow orders to try to help and protect, but she's not going the right way with this. And I think she knows, but she doesn't.
Yeah, when she tries to defend, her personal feelings don't matter, which is kind of sad because it was kind of hinted at early in the volume that Ironwood pretty much made this decision for her, and she just went along with it.
She says something in regards to that.
Yeah. Yeah, so they pretty much getting the power so they can activate the relic, so they can take Atlas up higher, and of course Penny is there for her safety, which she kind of needs. So Winter is trying to get things going, which it might have been good if they had wasted a bit more time.
Yeah.
Which Penny says, her personal feelings should matter, and
Weiss said something like that to her too.
Yes, and you gotta remember, Winter is probably not used to being told her personal feelings should matter on a lot of things, so... And it does kind of have her, like, you can tell she's kind of thinking over what's being said, and she's probably remembering that Weiss said the exact same thing.
And she said that the one thing she said, before this, it says, Ironwood is making the difficult decisions so we don't have to. Mm-hmm. She's following that. She's not getting yet that she shouldn't be. This is, and she's obviously at the end of this, she's going to find out.
It's also, he's making the difficult decisions so we don't have to, but yet she's still having to make the difficult decision of doing this.
Yeah, of still doing it.
Yeah, so, she's kind of hiding behind that facade of being loyal.
Thing is, if she just would have listened to Penny and walked away instead of picking the room that she was going to be going into.
And which, of course, this is still the whole thing of going, the needs of the few outweigh the men. Pretty much if sacrificing the few so many will live, doesn't kind of really fit in the situation, because there's no way Atlas could probably survive up in the atmosphere that long without running out of either dust to fuel everything, because the mines are no longer there from where Mantle is, and I just don't see them having that many.
It's not thought through. It just thinks we'll get out of the reach. Okay, she'll find a way to get up there.
Yeah. Which, I love this. I love that it showed her holding Penny's hands. Like, it does show that, yes, they have bonded while, for however long Penny's been rebuilt. Which Penny says, she doesn't see what's good about any of this. Which, like I said, is great for Penny. It is showing a lot of character development and character growth. She's no longer just blindly following orders. She's starting to really question what they're doing and what is going on. And it's the humane side of her coming out. Pretty much like I said, the story of Pinocchio. Which she is based off of. And since she's on that, we can agree. So
she doesn't know what good this is either. But to me, we also don't know exactly what Ironwood has said to her. He's been pushing. Obviously, it's been a long time, and he's been pretty much setting her up, like her and Weiss talked about. But the urgency, he probably demanded it.
Yeah.
In the mood he was in, I can guarantee he probably demanded it of her. So now she's feeling she has to follow it.
Yeah. So here we get to really what I consider the main event of the episode. To me, this is my favorite part of the episode, though it's not the whole fight that's my most favorite. We'll get to that in a minute. Now, so what was the big question this whole week was, can Team RWBY take on the Aesops?
Well,
were they going to jump out the windows, which that is taken care of completely, like right away. The windows get shuttered pretty much by iron, so they ain't going out the windows. I think I even said that in the reaction, like, well, going out the windows ain't going to work. And I love how Yang's like, really? Like, Yang is not amused, like, the whole entire time they've been in Ironwood's office.
No, and the fact that she's just pretty much, you're containing us in a box.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that's going to stop us?
Which, I believe it's Vine that says,
it
please
is
don't
Vine,
make this
and
difficult.
this is where we start to really see a little bit more to Vine's character. This is the start of it.
Yeah, we've seen more of his character this one chapter than we have the whole volume.
And it really does show he is quite similar to Ren. Like, he would prefer non-violent actions. Like, he would prefer to do things civilly, not violently. And we learn that through the entire fight, and we'll point that out too. Like, and I will say, I have noticed the fight that Elm has, like, it was the same thing I noticed before. The look on her face, like, there's a moment of, like, shock there, an initial, like, slight questioning, but her anger takes over, and she says, pretty much her brain goes, no, don't worry about that, you're going to follow orders.
Yeah.
She does that a lot through this entire fight, and I know that's where I picked up on it the last time. She not necessarily wants to do it, but orders are orders, and she's gonna follow them.
Yeah. And I love that it's Blake who says this, because Blake, I can't really remember Blake being this forceful, but says don't make us have to get out of here by force. Which before this, I was like, oh man, Team RWBY's kind of cocky going into this fight. Like they're well, maybe not cocky, but
more
confident.
Like, and that shows a lot of growth from the beginning to now.
Yeah.
It shows a lot of growth from when they first saw them fight.
Yeah.
And I brought that up at the end of the reaction. Like, this is a huge thing. And especially, and it goes right with what RWBY says. That and Marrow, the good boy.
Yeah, poor Marrow does try to calm things down. Like, out of all of them, like, you're still on your thing about Elm. I'm not as convinced. I really do think Marrow is the only one who really did not want it to go this far.
I'm not saying that she doesn't want to just go for it. He is the only one I've been seeing that truly doesn't want to do this.
Yeah.
Vine, he's doing what he has to because he's pretty much wants to defuse it quickly without complete violence. But he's the one that doesn't want to. Elm, it's hard to describe what I'm trying to say. Like, she doesn't want to, but they're, from what Harriet will end up saying, is they're the best hunters and huntresses in Atlas, so she's gonna follow orders. That's where it's been drilled into her head.
Harriet says, they decide what happens next. And
RWBY walks over and pulls out Present Rose.
Yep. So this is happening. All 4 members are ready to go. Which I believe it is.
Look at Barrow's face even still. He grabs his weapon and goes,
Yeah. So Harriet, I think it is Harriet who says this, right?
Yes.
Which Harriet has been like.
She's been cocky the entire time.
Yeah, she's got an ego, which she says, you think you're going to stop us? We're the best huntsmen in Atlas. And
you were.
Yeah, RWBY says
I'm
you were.
I'm sorry, I
then you trained us.
Loved that.
RWBY's pretty much saying, yeah, you were, but guess what? We're going, like, you guys made the mistake of training us, and now we're better than you. So, I've already seen people. I can't believe Team RWBY beat the Aesop's that easily when the Aesop's were built up so much. Okay. For a lot of people who watch RWBY who claim to be anime fans, it's kind of funny how in almost any anime that has, like, fighting and training and all that, like, almost all of them, the hero trains, becomes stronger than their rival or enemy. Like
that, and some people seem to be thinking this has taken place over, like, a couple days.
Yeah.
No. That montage was probably I wish we knew a time frame, but that little training montage part in the one chapter.
I think it was chapter
4.
No, 4 was the.
5,
I think it was 5.
Yeah, but that chapter would have taken place over like weeks. Like they're not just gonna train for a couple days and be, oh look, we're stronger than them. No.
Yeah.
After that first fight and after they're getting their license, that's when their training began, and it was for several weeks.
Yeah, it's like I don't understand how people watch this show and just miss stuff that's that obvious. Like, I don't know, like, are you guys not paying attention to what's going on, or are you just criticizing just for the sake of criticizing because you think you've got a good argument when really you're just making yourself look like a fool? Yeah, they've been non-stop training. They've been almost non-stop training since they've been in Atlas.
And then add their missions that they've been doing too.
So, I mean, and I mean, the Aesops have probably, the way they act, they've probably been slacking while Team RWBY put in extra training. So yeah, of course they're going to get better. Of course they're going to get stronger.
Which kind of leads me to believe also with the slacking thing, because remember when they were looking at the job board and Elm had made the comment about, I don't remember exactly what she said, but pretty much about, don't you guys,
Oh, she said they'd only been they
for so many minutes, like for like an hour,
and that they were already looking for work.
Yeah, and they said, well, keeping busy, that's also part of training to them. Like,
so I'm gonna go ahead and cover this so we don't have to do it during the fight. Another thing that I've seen a ton of people miss, and it's the same people mostly do in the whole, I can't believe Team RWBY beat them so easily. Do you all not remember what was said at the beginning of Chapter 4? Where it was pretty much confirmed that the Aesops are not friends. They were just handpicked to do a job. That they really just don't have that team...
The chemistry going between a team and between partners. There's a difference between working together as a team, and yes, that you can function that way. But the chemistry that you needed, like that adds that extra step in there, isn't there. Whereas they were thrown together at Beacon, they were all thrown out into the woods, and you found your partner. Yeah. And most of the partners all synced up because your instincts will usually lead you to that person. Yeah. So I mean, a lot of you out here just complain about that. You all really need to rewatch this fight because if you notice, the Aesops are out of sync. They're arguing with each other. Team RWBY, they're almost silent the whole entire fight. Like, I think RWBY tries to talk some sense into Harriet. And she is having none of that.
Like, there's a few...
that's actually here in a couple slides.
Yeah, there's a few conversations, but it's never like Team RWBY...
Weiss says a couple things, and that's about it.
Well, says some things to Marrow, and then there's a few things that Yang and Blake say to Elm and Vine, but, like, after that, there's no arguing between Team RWBY. They just go, and... there's a little bit of teamwork between RWBY and Weiss, not a whole lot, really. Blake and Yang...
because they're both in separate rooms because Harriet.
Blake and Yang stole this fight for me, but we'll get to that here in a second.
I will say another thing with Harriet's character. Really, really plays heavily on who she's based off of. Yeah. That I think cocky said that before ego. Well, it's showing even more, that ego.
So RWBY breaks through using her semblance, which Harriet goes after her. At first, it's Yang versus Elm, Blake versus Marrow, and Weiss versus Vine, but it changes shortly after that. So we all knew this was coming. The two speed semblance users going to duke it out. RWBY tries to talk sense into her, and what RWBY says is exactly the truth. They're playing right into Salem's hands, saying, you know that we need to be working together. And
she's just going to ignore us. Doesn't want to hear any of it, so don't give me that crap. Yeah. And she thinks, well, I had you kids pegged right from the start. That ego, again, and that attitude. Like, she thinks she knows exactly what they're like, and...
So Yang waylays Elm.
Down the stairs. And now it's pretty clear it's Blake and Yang versus Elm and Vine.
Now this is very, very interesting. First of all, the fight choreography was amazing. The animation was amazing in this fight. There were so many parts where they used slow motion that just was amazing. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it right now. So far, this fight right here, Blake and Yang versus Elm and Vine, so far it's my favorite fight of Volume 7, and it's definitely my favorite fight of this chapter. I just thought this was an amazing fight. So yeah, Blake takes kind of a beating in this fight, and she gets captured by Elm, and wow, I actually like that you caught this.
It took me a few minutes, but I caught it because
Yang gets pretty wide-eyed when she sees that Blake.
This happens like 2 or 3 times through this fight too.
So yeah, Yang is pretty wide-eyed here that Blake has been well, I wouldn't say captured, but she's being restrained. And yeah, Blake gets kind of roughed up a few times, and Yang does show concern. I mean, yes, that's her partner, but I mean, let's face it, they're also love interests to each other, so of course she's going to be worried. What you say? But
it's also showing, it shows her concern reaction, but she doesn't automatically just turn around and have a temper tantrum, pretty much.
That might be next chapter.
Well, no, but you get what I'm saying. She has it. Yeah, even if she were to get mad like that, she doesn't act like she used to.
Someone pointed something out. Hopefully you caught it. I still don't think Yang's exactly happy about something, but yeah, in the past Yang would have lost it, but here she's keeping her cool. So Vine says, if you'll come peacefully, but Elm retorts that, she says, speak for yourself. They betrayed us. In which Blake retorts, you're betraying the people you've sworn to protect, which is true. I mean, that's 100% true. Now, let's see. Okay, so you didn't exactly catch the look, but there's a point here someone pointed out that Yang doesn't look happy, and the joke was that, that she doesn't like that Elm's got her hands on Blake. But Yang does a pretty good burn, and that's, she tells Blake not to bother with it, and they're just
following orders now.
Yeah, she's kind of calling them lapdogs in a way, which...
Between Vine and Elm, this also shows the chemistry thing that's not there. They both react different to this. This was her reaction.
Yeah, she's a little shocked, and then she...
gets pissed. That's what I mean, the shocked look, and then her anger
and she just
kicks in.
Throws poor Blake right up against the wall.
This is what I'm saying. She's ignoring the concern that she should be feeling and letting her military, orders take. And then he goes...
Yeah.
And goes, fine, I guess we're doing this.
Yeah.
And but the thing is if you look, he doesn't put his big, he just tries to capture. He doesn't try to completely harm.
Yeah.
So, which says a lot when things he says later.
Yeah. So now we get to Weiss and Meryl. This was actually a very interesting fight. I didn't expect this.
He's not trying as hard as people thought, like as you'd think he would. He's just trying to, what he'll later say is detain her, pretty much. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's throughout this, which, I mean, and this is the only conversation they really even have.
Yeah, saying that I know you sneeze or used to. Which, I mean, he's a faunus, so of course he would do a dig
so
on
I
the
figured,
sneeze.
that's why I figured, I got the next part of that too, but.
Yeah, but, it's time to let this one go. Which, I love that Weiss says, this is my home, and I'm not going to give it up without a fight, which kind of means that she considers Mantle also her home, because it's
all... It's two different places, but it's all one.
Which once again,
it's one continent.
Which once again is a big character development thing for Weiss. Yes. So.
And we jump back to this.
Yeah, pretty much on the frozen tundra. Like, notice there is no Grim to be seen. So, hopefully things have calmed down in Mantle for right now. Like, there is not a Grim anywhere. So they must have really contained that attack.
Or this is the wrong side.
Yeah, maybe. But the airship is totaled. Crow gets out. There's Robin taking a nap. He checks her vitals. She's alive. She does make a little breath, which he's glad that she's alive. Then Clover shows up, saying that she needs help. Surrender, and we can take her to Atlas. He's still blindly following orders. Which Crow even says, never pegged you for the manipulative type. Which, I mean, is really sad.
I have to say with this shot, though, I absolutely love his weapon. I always have. It is definitely unique and cool.
Yeah, a lot of people love Harbinger.
I need to make it just because.
So here's where RWBY starts to tug at the heartstrings even more. I enjoyed working with you. Crow says he's usually proven right, which...
Yeah.
I think this is kind of a callback to him talking about his semblance and how people have betrayed him and stuff like that. So, it's kind of... he says we don't have to fight. But yeah, they kind of do, because he won't
think for himself right now.
Yeah, he's
blindly following.
Yep. He scoffs and you don't know my friends. So, yeah.
I have to just point something out about... I've noticed in a lot of captures that I tried to get Clover's posture here. I just kind of find it funny.
So, here's the first scene that made you cringe.
Oh, I had a hard time going back through this again. You gotta... Okay, for anyone that doesn't know me, I was injured once as a cheerleader, and even my own injury made me cringe. Like, let's see, weak stomach.
Nah,
blood gets to me.
You get queasy very easily.
Yeah, that's the word. Like, I just, even thinking about it.
Yeah, so Tyrion is still in the wreckage. And I thought...
I didn't catch the other, but okay. I caught the bruise.
I thought he had broken his wrist to get it out. No,
he broke his thumb instead.
Yeah, he broke his thumb to get free, and he...
popped it back.
Yeah, he popped it back, which I can see. So yeah, he pops it back in place. So Crow and Clover are still fighting. And Tyrion shows up, telling him not to stop on his account.
Well, I wasn't planning on it.
Yeah, so Crow goes after Tyrion.
He's full on determined to just
fight because that, well, yeah, but that's the
his
thing.
main focus turns around as...
Crow is doing the right thing. He's going after who is really the main threat. But Clover stops him from attacking Tyrion. And it's just, why would you so blindly follow orders that you're also ignoring the orders to bring Tyrion in? Like, a lot of people have been shitting on Crow, but really, Clover's the one making the horrible
He's
decisions.
Making the mistakes right now.
Yes. And so we get more of a three-way fight here. Tyrion joins the fray.
Yes, a three-way fight.
Yeah,
we'll get to that.
Yeah. I love that Crow brought up that him and Tyrion have a score to settle. I really do. Because
I got it.
That's funny. That's hilarious. Which Tyrion says he's agreeing, and everybody agrees. Everybody has been wanting to see Crow and Tyrion fight again since Volume 4. So he says, so let's say we put the kid to bed and continue this. Now, Crow ignores that. Crow ignores that, people, and goes after Tyrion. But once again, Clover jumps in and tries to fight Crow.
While jumping off Tyrion's back.
Yeah. Actually, when we're done, send me this, because I'm going to post this on Twitter, because a lot of people have been complaining about what we're about to get to, and I want to point this out.
I've gotten a few of those shots like this.
And he even throws his horseshoe at Crow. I found that so hilarious.
Here.
It's like, you threw your horseshoe at him? The power of good luck compels you. So this is the part a lot of people are like saying was stupid, was bad writing, it made no sense.
Saying because Tyrion nodded towards Crow, but Crow just gave him a look and ran off.
Yeah.
Tyrion laughed and then followed.
Yes.
So Tyrion's inserting himself into this.
Yes. Crow, and I'm going to repeat this, Crow did not team up with Tyrion.
He wants Tyrion dead. Like, he wants to kill Tyrion himself, which I hope I see.
You guys have got to understand, this is not Crow and Clover versus Tyrion. This whole entire fight, Crow has been trying to fight Tyrion, but Clover keeps trying to fight Crow. He's barely even tried to fight Tyrion.
It's pretty much Crow versus Tyrion, but also Crow versus Clover. So
well, no, I would say it's Crow versus Tyrion versus Clover. In a way, guys,
it's all over the place.
To use wrestling terminology, this is a triple threat match. It's three guys against each other. Okay, there is no double team. There's no willing double team. Crow did not side with Tyrion. Get that out of your heads. This whole entire fight is nothing but conflict. Okay? You've got Clover, he may not be showing it, but he's conflicted in fighting Crow, but he's also conflicted in his whole, good soldier, always follow orders. Crow is conflicted because he doesn't want to fight Clover, but he keeps on getting in the way of them trying to take out the real threat, which is Tyrion.
Which if Clover would have actually, fought for himself and decided, put aside the issues that they're having with, between each other, and actually went after Tyrion again and restrained him, and then actually talked to Crow and understand, realize he's doing the wrong thing.
Anyway, the point is, this is Crow fighting Clover, and Tyrion is there because he is taking advantage of this situation. This is not a team-up. Get that out of your heads.
He's waiting for his moment. That's what he's doing.
Okay, because you all are just watching this at face value. You are not interpreting the story that has been being told in this fight. So it goes back to Team RWBY versus the Aesops. That's a really good shot of her about to
kick RWBY into that room.
Yeah.
And back into the office.
Yeah. So the fight is still going. Yeah,
right.
That's poor RWBY. It's kind of a funny shot. It looks like she just fell and busted her ass. But yeah, she sends RWBY back into the room that Marrow and Weiss are fighting in. And this is the one instant of team up between RWBY and Weiss. RWBY helps Weiss out here.
And deflects his weapon. And Harriet says, Marrow, what are you doing? Like, pretty much quit fooling around. And he goes, I'm trying to arrest her, not kill her.
Yep.
And then
he
even says, you're being excessive.
Yep. Yeah, it's not excessive if it's necessary. So yeah, this is the Aesops breaking down as a team, because it's showing they're not on the same page.
Yeah, it's showing that weakness that's just there.
So it goes back to
RWBY flew out. Hera was pissed off again and took off. And
so it went back to one-on-one.
Yeah.
Now we get back to. I love how the only part of Yang you can see is her hair flaring like up in the air in the background. But we go back to Blake and Yang versus Vine and Elm, and once again, like, completely I'm sorry. I'm not saying this is a Bumblebee shipper, but Blake and Yang are the best team up in this show. They really are. Like, this whole fight was just showing them, like, it was perfection. It really was.
They've been, the thing is they've had this connection since they first met in the forest, and it's built off from there. But they've just gotten stronger together.
But, I mean, they were always in sync. But even compared to their fight against Adam, they were never this in sync. This is
they really focused their energy in this training. And the training that they've had now, they've really built up.
Well, I think it's the training and a little bit of
the reconnection.
Their relationship and all that.
Well, that's what I mean. The training, the reconnecting of the relationship, and all that pieces, everything coming together over that time is really built up for them.
Yeah. So, I mean, really, they start, Yang especially starts running circles around Elm, right here.
Except she gets launched.
Yeah, right there. But, Blake throws Gamble at her, which, once again, hey, there's that yellow
I've
strip.
caught that a few times.
Which, Elm grabs Gamble, and once...
Yeah, I caught that, too.
You got a lot of funny... steals this chapter. It looks like she's getting I don't know, and
threw her up and then she hit her with the hammer and threw her up for Vine too. And this is where I'll catch the other moment of Yang.
So okay,
I researched this.
Theory time. Now in the reaction, I thought her aura had broken, but it didn't. I forgot that when an aura breaks, especially now in the newer engine, it flashes and then it kind of busts a little bit.
It shows, flickers,
and then boof.
And then it shatters.
And it makes a specific noise when it shatters.
Yeah, hers flickered. And if you do go back, it has always done that. Once your aura starts getting low and you stop
well, plus
not so much paying attention to it, but if you take damage. Same thing in a video game. If you take damage, something usually happens. Lightning returns. Her shield does that.
Yeah.
When you take damage, it glitters kind of like an aura.
Well, plus, I think someone mentioned on Twitter that once your aura is gone, you can't use your semblance anymore, because that's what it draws off of.
And she uses it.
Yeah, and she uses it. So, yeah, I did say in the reaction that I thought her aura had completely broken, but no. It's just low. Now... that still kind of means that Blake could still be in danger next chapter, because she's the only member of Team RWBY whose aura is low. We gotta keep that in mind for next week. Which, once again, Yang concerned about Blake. Which I think they're doing this for a reason. For the next chapter, I really think that they're having Blake being in this much trouble and Yang noticing and getting concerned. I think they're doing it on purpose. I really do. But the great thing is Yang goes back, and it's not that she doesn't care about Blake. It's just that she's got to stay focused. She knows Blake can take care of herself.
Which again, this is why I brought up the fact that, given this the beginning, Yang would have turned around and had a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, she still has some of those, but she's under control when she does it.
Volume one
she can control her semblance at will at this now.
Yeah, volume 1 through 3, Yang would have yelled Blake's name and tried to win and help her and completely ignored Elm, and that would have given
put them both in danger.
Yeah, it would have given Elm an opening. Which, I mean, since Yang stays focused, she sends Elm flying.
Send shots up.
And then she starts sending... See, that's the great thing about Yang here. Because she's smarter, she focused on Elm. She knew Blake was in trouble, but she knew Blake would be okay as long as Vine didn't do anything else, which... I think she kind of already knows that Vine is not trying to physically hurt them like Elm is.
He just wants to restrain.
Yeah, so
that's all he wants.
So he's got Blake. He's going to hold her there. He's not doing anything else. So Yang is like, take care of Elm, then go for Vine. So you can...
That's another thing. With Vine. He didn't throw her against the wall in his hold hard enough to break her aura. It was just enough to pretty much inflict somewhat of a damage just to hold her there.
Yeah.
He didn't break it. Mm-hmm. So that's another point that I thought of when I was going through these slides. Yeah. This is pointing so much to his character, and I'm actually now seeing this. I kind of like him.
So Yang fires at Vine, and Blake gets free, which Elm says time to wrap this up. Vine, and she says, they've had their chance. Don't be soft. And that's a thing you missed on Blake's boots, I think, that purple.
No, I haven't.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yep.
First time I've noticed it, so.
Oh, I've already noticed that.
I love this. I love Yang having Gamble and tosses it to her. It still goes with the whole thing of, weapons are an extension of yourselves, and she is perfectly okay with Yang holding Gamble for her. I don't know. I just think this is really cute.
It is a strong moment. You've seen this in other games too, and it's a great meaning. Even going back to Final Fantasy 13, Lightning has Fang's lance, walks over and hands it to her. That is a huge meaning, and that's actually been pointed out before. So that's another thing that I always brought into RWBY.
Yeah. Yeah. So Vine says, are you telling me that or yourself? So she
doesn't seem to like that response.
Yeah, so here's more of the Aesops not seeing eye to eye, which since Elm and Vine are part of the same Aesop fable, it's been kind of accepted that they may be in a romantic relationship.
But it's clear that they're keeping it separate, but they're not using the connection that could add to them.
Yeah.
As far as
who knows? Who knows? We could be 100% wrong on that, but it does definitely seem like... It does
point to that, though.
It does definitely seem like that they are kind of a parallel to Ren and Nora, because, it's really hard to ignore that, two hammer-wielding, buff girls, and the guy who's really chill and zen and all that.
And wants to resolve things with the least amount of violence. Yeah. And Ren is like that too.
Yeah, where Nora's kind of like Elm. It's like hit him with a hammer.
Yeah. Or like girl we saw, Nora, riding around like a broom.
Yeah. So, this goes all the way back to chapter 4, that the Aesops are not as a perfect team as they could be. I love this. I loved this. This is like, my bumblebee heart. All they have to do is look at each other and smile, and they know exactly what to do. I'm sorry, y'all. Whether you're a bumblebee shipper or not, you cannot deny what a force of nature Blake and Yang really are together. they are a power couple. They really are. Like, that's why I love this fight. It just shows how perfect their pairing is.
Yeah, that, and also aside from just Bumblebee, both in that, in that ship sense and, friend, partner, pretty much everything under all of the above. The look between two people, just knowing what the other, just knowing. Just knowing is a huge thing. Like, yeah. It's huge thing to have through friendship, and it's even stronger to have through relationships. Yeah. So.
And a fighting partnership.
Yes,
of
that's
course.
what I meant.
To me, Blake and Yang are the definition of what a fighting partnership is supposed to be in the world of RWBY. Like, whenever, Ozpin or whoever was the first one, I'm pretty sure it was Ozpin, to decide whoever you met at Beacon was your partner. It was a team up like Blake and Yang that was envisioned for that. Because I'm sorry, they're too perfect together. Like, they are literally unstoppable almost. Like, ever since they got back together, they've been unstoppable. And I mean, that may end next chapter with what may happen, but who knows? But I just really love this.
I really think that, like, the way Ozpin did it, he had the right idea on it, because you need that extra connection. Yeah. And he knew that. And that's one thing that, I guess one advantage that he had over the teams that he made at his school is because, not all the teams, maybe not all of them function like they should be, but the fact that they all, at least most of them that we all saw, had that extra connection, like that extra step above.
Now, I
caught a few of these. So.
Yeah, I love this because this is the most, like, really confident Yang has been in a long time. Because let's admit it, in Volumes 4 and 5, she went through a lull a bit. Like, she was, like, in a lot of fights she had in 4 through, well, not really in 4, but in 5, like, with the bandits and stuff like that. She wasn't the same happy-go-lucky Yang. She was still kind of being a little bit moody and all that. Blake, of course. Like, Blake has come a long way since Volume 1, and I don't know, it just seems like these two are just, like, I wouldn't say Yang has changed all that much. She's a bit more serious than she used to be, but she's also back to smiling, whereas Blake is still Blake, but she's opened up a lot.
Yeah.
And I really do that. That's mostly because of, just everything that's happened, which, that yellow mark on Gamble, having that symbolism that Yang helped heal her from what Adam did. So, I don't know. This whole fight sequence was just amazing to me. And
I didn't realize I even caught the mark close enough to the color.
Yeah, if anyone's still denying it, you can't. It's literally the same color. It's the same shade of yellow. And I love the fact that when they charge at Elm and Vine, they're both smirking.
Yeah.
Like, I just love it. And so the fight continues, and I love this. I think this was one part where they used slow-mo.
Yeah.
It was just so cool. And I kind of love how it kind of is a little show of the yin and yang thing.
There's another, I don't know if I caught it exactly, but there was another quick moment.
Blake and Yang are so fluid here. They're like water almost. Like, they throw both Elm and Vine for a loop here with their teamwork.
And this is where she uses her semblance.
Yeah. Okay.
Which at first I didn't see until I went back and looked.
So, there are bombs on the rock, and Blake is swinging toward Vine. Vine captures her, but Blake's...
Thinking it's her.
Yeah, thinking it's her. But of course, what's Blake's semblance? It was a shadow clone, and the bombs go off.
He realizes as soon as he clasps his hand, she disappears, and it showed his eyes, and he's just pretty much like,
sends him flying, and Yang grabs his...
Pretty much, I'll take that.
Yeah, pretty much grabs his restraints. Well, that's a really good picture of Yang.
Yeah, swings it around and throws it at him.
Yep, and then she just bodies him. Like,
and this is what I was talking about when
I love the look on Vine's face.
He's just like,
I messed up.
Yeah, well, this is where I was also pointing out where when Blake's aura,
oh yeah,
shimmered a little bit.
His shatters.
His completely shatters.
Yeah.
And that's why there's a difference. He was like pretty much
done.
Let's see. I don't know a word to show how hard he hit the floor. But it cracked the floor.
Yeah, he hit it bad. And so now it's Elm all by herself against Blake and Yang. And
this is where realization's starting to, kick in that okay, she's got to just keep going and defend herself. She's got to do it all over herself.
Oh yeah,
it's starting to click a little bit.
She is shocked that they're losing.
And she just focuses on her anger, and everyone else starts to see this.
Yeah, so that's another thing I love, that Blake and Yang were the first two to
take one down,
and it's just so cool. Yeah, everybody looks that Blake and Yang have taken Vine out, and it's such a great feeling because it's just like I said. There are two instances in this where Weiss and RWBY help each other, but for the most part, RWBY's fight against Harriet and Blake's fight against Marrow is one-on-one. Blake and Yang's fight with Elm and Vine is 100% together. So this may be looking too much into it, but I'm wondering if this... I highly doubt I'm on anything here. I'm probably just looking too much into it. But it's almost like it's kind of symbolism that RWBY and Weiss are always have their separate paths they're going on, where Blake and Yang's is always together.
That's one thing. Another thing I thought about, though, is the ones, between all the Aesops, Harriet's one to go off and work on her own.
Yeah.
And leave pretty much Marrow to do his thing. And whereas Vine and Elm have, when they're not conflicting, complement each other with their semblances. So whereas Harriet's that's what I'm saying, is Harriet's kind of the ego. She's got this, and she goes off. So that's I caught that. Yeah, this, and he just kind of goes he's already tired of it.
So something cool happens here. I think this is it right here, ain't it? Yes. He uses his semblance on Weiss, and it works, but the night is still going.
And he realizes, he goes, oh.
Yeah. But then...
And he tells it to stay.
Yes, he tells the night to stay, and then Weiss all of a sudden can move again.
I had brought something up like this, actually, when he came home from work, because I was really thinking about it. Yes, we've seen his semblance work on multiple things in front of him.
Yeah.
I think his semblance works on one focal point that he's looking at. So the direction he's looking, whatever's that way, will stay. So for the fact that he first said it to Weiss, that was it. That Weiss, fell under that, the whole stay thing. And then when he saw the night, he told the night to stay. Well, that was the new focal point. Weiss was now out of it.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm thinking.
So we may have found a very, very bad weakness in his semblance. That he can only use it in one direction, maybe.
Yeah, one focal point is all I have, and
Weiss
takes him out.
Yeah, and his aura shatters, I believe.
Yes.
So now, Blake and Yang are still fighting Elm, but RWBY is still going up against Harriet.
She thinks she's got her.
Yeah, God, that looks uncomfortable.
Nope.
Once again,
the look on Harriet's face.
Yes, it's funny. And then RWBY has got her now. So we go.
But then she takes off. But
yeah. So now we're back with Blake and Yang versus Elm. Once again, still amazing teamwork by Blake and Yang. But,
Elm knows she's in trouble.
Yes, because the floor is cracked. So her semblance is not
working the way she wants it to.
Yeah, it's not going to keep her rooted. And she like, yeah, So she goes to
more drastic measures.
Yeah, she goes to her rocket launcher, and this is one of the most beautiful sequences I have ever seen. Like, it seems like every volume it's just so gorgeous.
I wish you can't. I was gonna try to do a little clip of that, but I couldn't. You can't capture it in pictures. But like the motion of her hair just going completely down from top to bottom in flames is.
But it's like every volume they improve the way her semblance looks. Because I think it looks almost a bit more different than it did in volume 6.
It's stronger too. Yeah. Like, it's more detailed and stronger.
But Yang activates her semblance. She completely obliterates like, you can't see it here, but the floor just like shatters like glass.
And her semblance is.
Yeah. And I believe it sends Elm flying into the air. Now, I loved this. You've got Blake.
Yeah, it did send her up.
Yeah, you got Blake coming down with the moon in the back, which is a beautiful scene. But you've also got Yang with her hair glowing like the sun, which goes back to I Burn. I mean, it's back to the yin and yang. It's the sun and the moon.
That's another thing with the chemistry they have with them fighting together. Like, yin and yang. Like, if it's something that I'm going to go back to describe yin and yang, yeah, you can look up anything. But one iconic thing, and yeah, I'm sure a lot of people didn't like it, but Mulan, the second one, Mulan 2. Yin and yang, they bring up yin and yang a lot in that one. And they actually describe the difference between the two and how they work together, because they're both given those necklaces that her parents had. So it kind of fits, like, that's just everything. Like, the yin and yang thing is a huge thing with this. And
of course, if you don't know much about yin and yang, I'll just say this. Blake's a cat faunus. The symbol for yin is a tiger. Yang's name, of course, is Sunny Little Dragon. The symbol for yang is a dragon. So, I mean... but yeah, I think someone else posted this on Twitter, what made me think of it, but yeah... Blake, the moon, Yang, the sun. I mean, it's just... It's more and more things that connect these two together. But I really I loved this. This is
they both took her out.
Yes, I love it. I love in anime when two others take out the enemy, and it's like the crisscross attack.
That and the way the curve. That was the other point, and it was too small of a motion to catch, but it's a slight yin and yang there too.
But yeah, it's just, I love the way Yang's semblance looks. We've been waiting all volume for her to use her semblance. I'm guessing her semblance is going to become a thing where it only happens once a volume now, since she doesn't rely on it like she used to.
No, she doesn't, and that's another thing I was very happy to see, is she's grown so much. Like, that's what I'm saying, no more complete tantrums where she relies on it. She now just brings it out at will and makes it go away.
Unless what happens next chapter might happen.
She's not going to act like she did in volumes 1 through 3, though.
I could see her activating her semblance, though.
But not out of just, like, not like she used to.
God, it
looks uncomfortable.
Yeah. So, yeah, Elm is done. Yeah.
And as soon as she stood up, she made the semblance go away, so. Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm sorry, like, yeah, there was a few rough parts.
Elm's toe twitches, too.
There was a few rough parts, but Blake and Yang, like, just owned this fight. Like, it was my favorite part. So RWBY is still okay, this looks like Harriet is like trying to stand on Crescent Rose and just is falling.
No.
I know, but I'm just saying that's what it looks like. Like, if this was a picture you took, it looked like she tried to balance on Crescent Rose and she's falling and RWBY's just standing there for laughs.
Yeah, but really she was trying to pretty much pull off a wrestling move, because she's restrained, but her legs still work.
Yeah.
So for now.
So she pretty much dives for RWBY, and Weiss summons a wall of ice, and she just runs into it, like legit just runs into it. And this is number 2 of the 2 times that RWBY and Weiss actually help each other this fight. And it looks like it's going to continue, and Harriet just passes out. Her eyes even roll in the back of her head.
She's just done.
She is out cold, so...
Ruby just throws her on the floor.
Yeah, she definitely
just
does.
Throws her to the floor.
So Ruby's like, we have to stop Ironwood.
And then she's dragging poor Marrow.
Yeah, it is kind of funny that she's dragging Marrow. Like,
though if you look, he's not restrained.
Like, and at least Blake, yeah, he is.
He is?
Yeah. See?
No. Oh, okay, around his arms. I couldn't see that.
Elm's the only one who's technically not restrained. But at least Blake and Yang are helping her. They're not dragging her or just throwing her on the ground. Okay, so here's another big theory time. Weiss says we just have to get to the Winter Maiden. Because she knows her sister is in danger. She has to know her sister is in danger.
Yeah.
Yang says Blake and I will look for the others, meaning Team RWBY's splitting up. Which means I was right! On that part, at least. Ruby and Weiss are going to go after Winter and Penny. Blake and Yang are going to where John, Ren, and Nora are. Which Team RWBY still does not know, technically, that Oscar was missing. Because the scrolls got to him. Yeah. So, yes, Blake and Yang are going one way. Ruby and Weiss are going the other. And...
they're all in the middle of this, and then just...
Maria and Pietro show up.
That moment right before it showed to them, Weiss drops Marrow's feet.
Yeah, she does. It's kind of funny.
And this is the part where they ask us for help.
Yeah.
The thing is right before that, Ruby was about to say, well,
our scrolls
don't work. How are we going to, and I actually brought up a point. What if he can...
Unlock them? Yeah.
Thing is, or do something so that they have communication. I mean, Ironwood's he's too far gone in his head now that he's already done it. He's not going to realize that it's unlocked.
The fact that we don't even know where Ironwood is. I mean, he might be where the relic is or something, or the vault. But, we have no idea where he's at.
Probably locked himself away somewhere.
Yeah. So we go back to this. Everybody was wondering, where is Oscar? Did he go shopping for clothes again?
Which would have been hilarious.
Yeah, no. It would have pissed a lot of people off. But I would have laughed. I would have too. That'd have been the most...
Coming back with, lunch or something.
Yeah, I'd have been like, Groovy, you trolling SOBs. But, no, they actually start looking for him. And we see Oscar show up, and I knew right away.
Oh, so did I.
That's not Oscar. That is Neo. Oh, gosh, it's so creepy looking knowing that it is. Nora could have easily died here.
Yeah.
She starts running at Oscar, a.k.a. Neo. Then you hear the real Oscar say no. Nora does this,
and he just comes...
barreling
around the corner. You can see the smoke trail from behind his feet, too.
And he literally punches the illusion out of Neo. Dang, Oscar.
She's gotten hit in an illusion before. And I know she has, and it didn't do anything. He hit her hard enough that she came out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cinder got a couple of hits on her in Volume 6, but this is the first time, we've seen, one of the good guys, actually land a hit on Neo. And, the fact that his punch was strong enough to send her flying, that, but we don't know what exactly happened. He says that, I'm sorry, I love Neo.
No, she
gorgeous.
Realizes quickly.
Yeah, that she's busted. Oh yeah, the relic is gone. It literally rolls
back to him
like a basketball to him.
But then this is what he says. He says, some crazy girl attacked me, but she looked like somebody else.
But who did she look like? That's what. Yeah, I'm dying to know, who the heck did she look like? Who did she come to Oscar as? So Nora says, Neo's full name.
And I also realize she's got it's folded up, but new umbrella.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it looks so much more different than the other one.
And, okay, so this is another little thing I'm a little bit irked with the RWBY fandom. We have got people asking, how did Nora know Neo's name? And literally, in the same scene, Jean says, because... Oscar asks, you guys know her? And Jean literally says we haven't exactly heard good things, meaning they heard about Neo from Team RWBY.
They've been, like, you got to remember how long the two teams have now, spent time together.
Yeah,
since everything, they've talked.
Yeah, I mean, going all the way back to like Volume 4, where RWBY was with them most of the time, and then the time between 4 and 5, the time between 5 and 6, the time between 6 and 7, the whole time they've been Atlas. Like, I do not get this fandom not understanding that just because we don't see it on screen, doesn't mean stuff happens off screen.
We're not going to see every conversation.
Yeah, like, that's another thing this fandom has a problem with. Quit expecting full stories in one single volume. RWBY is one full story. You're not going to get a whole entire thing in one single volume, people. It's just not going to happen. You need to at least wait until the full volume's over with, or the entire arc is done. The Atlas arc is far from over. So, I mean, it's going to be a while before we know what all's going to be going on.
The things that we've heard, RWBY's not going to be done for a while.
No, Miles and Carrie already.
We've got a long way to go. And
before Volume 7 even started, Miles and Carrie said that they do have an ending in plan, but getting there is like
very long road. Things that Monty said. He has had stuff written, details and pieces written in books for years. So we could have Volume 20 for all we know, which
I kind of hope not. We'll be like in our 40s by then.
I just hope the episodes get longer, or we get them more frequent a year. I don't know.
So here's the thing. How is Team Juniper going to... the rest of Team Juniper, that is, how are they going to do against Neo? Because we know that Blake and Yang is heading their way now. If you watched our theory video, you already know what I think is going to happen. I don't know how Neo's going to handle these three. I mean, Neo's a powerhouse, so she might take them out. Not kill them, but, but it really looks like we're heading toward Yang versus Neo Part 2. And Blake's the only member of Team RWBY whose aura is low. And we have that leak from RTX about Barbara saying that Yang screams at some point during this volume, and next week's the finale, and it's still not happened. So, if it doesn't happen next week, that means they cut it, because she almost said something she shouldn't have. But, it's setting up that Blake and Yang are going to arrive, Blake's going to get hurt, Yang's going to go berserk. And hopefully that's when the B confession happens. But we'll see.
A controlled berserk at this point.
Yeah. I don't know. If I saw you get hurt, I'd lose it pretty bad.
Yeah, but you'd also be focused, too. You'd have one goal in mind.
So we get back to Penny and Winter. They're pretty much still having the same conversation they were having about personal feelings not mattering. Winter saying that won't change her actions. How the power of the maiden and the relic must be kept safe.
And she says, she really hopes that, about her dying, that it won't cause her any pain. But that's also when Penny has mentioned about the feeling thing, and she's just, it's not going to get in the way of what I need to do, though. Pretty much stating she has feelings about this, but it's not going to change her goals.
Yeah, and Penny says that she thinks she can understand that.
She was talking about it's, making sure we're going on the right path. That's what makes us human. And that's when she says, I think I understand.
And...
boom.
What we all saw was about to happen starts to happen. You got this really spooky scene of her going out in the hallway. The lights are out. It turns red. And, yep, it's Cinder. And she fires at Winter. I think Winter says, "Damn it."
Something like that. I didn't...
Dodges the attack. Shuts the door.
Okay, you'd think that, because since this is supposed to be a secure area...
they'd have more than just those damn robots.
Well, yes, but this should have been a very secure door.
Yeah.
Vault-like door.
Yeah, not just a simple...
not just a door that can be blown to pieces.
Which is what happens. Sends both Penny and Winter back, and there she is, Miss... God, I can't stand Cinder. I just can't.
You got more details on her outfit now.
Yeah. Both of Ironwood's puppets, of course. which Winter does say that she says Cinder, and then Penny, is confronting the person
responsible for Beacon.
Yeah,
and what happened to her.
Yeah.
And then she says, well, it was unfortunately, temporary.
Yeah. Yeah, it tells her to step aside or she won't leave anything this time to salvage, which I really don't think Cinder can go toe-to-toe with Penny fully. I just don't.
Not anymore.
Yeah. And Penny stands up to her. Like, Penny's going to go for it. So, before we get to this, theory time. I think Cinder's going to fail at getting the Winter Maiden powers. I just don't see them giving her 2 sets of Maiden powers.
I think that's a little
much
to happen.
Unless if she does get 2 sets of powers and it starts to destroy her from the inside, because she's slowly becoming a Grimm. Maybe that's what finally gets her downfall. But my personal theory is Penny and Winter are going to hold her off. Ruby and Weiss are going to show up and they're going to help. And during the fight, the Winter Maiden passes away. Because they've been making it a pretty big deal this whole volume that she could pass at any moment.
Yeah.
Now, will the power go to Winter? I don't know. Will the theory that she's actually Nora's grandmother come true and her last thought is on her long-lost granddaughter and it goes to Nora?
Which, I had a thought on that. If that were the case, what if it kicked in while they're... before Blake and Yang find them, and it kicks in a bit while they're encountering Neo. I
kind of don't want that to happen, though. I want to see Yang versus Neo.
Or it kicks in at some point and they're still in the area with her while that's, happening. I don't know.
It depends on how long the finale is.
Well, the thing is my thought on that would be at that point, now, as soon as, after a fight with Yang or whatever, Neo would see something, obviously something's happening. She's outnumbered. She's outskilled now, because especially against a Maiden power, and she'd do her little. I don't remember what her thing is called.
Disappearing trick, pretty much.
Yep, disappear, just like she did in the past.
So we go back to Clover versus Crow versus Tyrion. So yeah, this whole entire time, Tyrion is using this whole thing to his advantage, and he's pretty much forcibly making Crow fight with him, pretty much,
and throwing him in and out of a ragdoll. Look here, they caught this for a reason. He wrapped his tail around him and then threw him back.
Yeah.
I think I caught that in the neck. No, I didn't. But it threw him back, and Crow gives this look dude, what the hell? And then he jumps back into the fight again, and it just keeps going back and forth. Tyrion's inserting himself into this fight.
Yeah. And Clover is, for some reason, just completely ignoring Tyrion. And, here's another one.
Tyrion rushes over and shoves Crow back in.
Yeah. He keeps it going. And, it just keeps on going like that. Look at this. It is...
I looked. He legit hit Tyrion and just kept going.
Yeah. It's wild. I just don't see how people didn't see this. And so I think it was Tyrion who got, was it? No, I think it was Clover who got Crow's weapon away from him, didn't he? Yeah, okay. And then we see Tyrion using his semblance, trying to cut through Clover's aura.
And he wasn't achieving that.
Yeah.
Crow looks at it and then goes off to handle it by himself without it.
Yeah.
But somebody else sees it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And once again, Clover keeps trying to capture Crow, and Crow has to defend himself, of course. He gives Clover a couple of those, classic Crow punches, and it breaks his aura. And Crow tells him, why couldn't you just do the right thing, Sometimes the right decision is the hardest to make. Well, you got that right. Now, here's the thing. I trust James with my life.
This was a huge flag right here because he says this at this particular time.
He says, I wanted to trust you. And Tyrion impales Clover with Crow's sword. He said he trusted James with his life. Well, him trusting Ironwood pretty much led him to his death.
Yeah, because the fact that Just following orders, trusting what Ironwood is saying, going after Crow, ignoring the fact that Tyrion's now loose, you know. Mm-hmm. And look what happens.
Yeah. I also want to point out that this pretty much mirrors the scene from Volume 3 where Yang lost her arm, like the blacked out silhouettes.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same thing. It's meant to be that shock thing.
Boy, did it.
Yeah. You know, Crow's shocked, Tyrion's loving it, and I mean...
I captured this for a reason because his symbol.
Yeah.
Part of me, with all of this, part of me wants Crow to pick it up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it also kind of symbolizes that the moment his aura broke, his good luck ran out. Like, that's what I mean, he might. Who knows? We'll have to see next one, but it's just...
Not the fact that it's a good luck charm, but the fact that the bond that they created, regardless, romantic, not, whatever.
Yeah.
I kind of, as a symbol, I kind of hope he picks it up and holds on to it.
Yeah.
That would actually mean so much to see.
Yeah, so Tyrion starts, rubbing it in Crow's face, and Crow says, "I'll kill you," which I do think at this point, it's going to be Crow who kills Tyrion at some point in the series.
I will be happy to see it.
Who knows, it might be next week if a theory I have happens. Yes, just like you killed Clover, and he throws Crow's weapon down, and it's covered in Clover's blood. I mean...
You'd think the snow would start taking it off, but...
I don't know. Blood stains really, really bad.
Oh, I know, but at least a little bit.
And which, he says, here they come, and it's an Atlas airship. Looks like our score will have to wait, and he just runs off back toward
Crow starts
Mantle.
to run after him, but stops, turns around, and has focuses on him.
Yeah. Someone had to take the fall. And Crow says, "James will take the fall." And I mean,
and I'll make sure of it.
Yeah, and I'll make sure. And I mean, he's pretty much blaming Ironwood for all this, which it is Ironwood's fault.
It is his fault. All of this is.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like Ironwood created the divide that's going to not end well for Atlas at all. And I mean, it is a heartbreaking scene. It really is. The sun starts to rise, and Clover's last words are "good luck."
Killed me even more.
And Clover dies. Crow...
I could cry again seeing this.
Crow sheds some tears and screams. Now, like I said, romantic or otherwise, it's still it's to the point where Crow had finally found someone who was bringing the better out of him, who had a semblance that could counteract his own.
And was becoming something in his life. Again, romantic or not, it doesn't matter. It was something in his life, meaning, and he's lost it again.
Yeah. Makes you wonder if he's going to relapse back into drinking.
Which I hope not. That's why I hope he kind of picks up his symbol and continues.
So what's going to happen here for the finale? To me... What I personally think is going to happen, the Atlas airship's going to land. They're going to try and arrest Crow, not only for being wanted, but also for the murder of Clover. Robin's going to wake up. She's already going to be against Atlas because of what Ironwood's planning to do. So she's going to attack the soldiers, knock them out, and she's going to see the blood on Crow's weapon and see Clover's body, and she's going to question him about it. He's going to tell her what really happened, that it was Tyrion. She's going to use her semblance on him, see he's telling the truth. They're going to take the airship. They're going to go after Tyrion, and then we'll finally see the Crow and Robin versus Tyrion fight that's in the opening.
No, but, the one thing is she knew Tyrion was loose. So, of course, she'd probably, along with the theory, will question Crow. But she's not going to automatically see his sword and assume, okay, Crow, you did this. No, because she knows that Tyrion is loose, and she's not done.
Well, I mean, she was knocked out, so she might not think it all the way through at first, but,
but she knows she can easily solve that.
That was an episode. Definitely shades of Volume 3, for sure. So, what to learn from all this? That sometimes the villains win. Though I wouldn't say they fully won yet. We still got a finale to go. And I mean, the heroes are fighting each other, but here's the thing, though. The villains themselves are divided as well. We still don't know where Watts is. We still don't know if Ironwood killed him or if he's locked up. You've got Tyrion running amok now. Ain't no telling what else he's going to do. They don't know that Cinder and Neo are there. Cinder and Neo know that Watts and Tyrion are there, but they're not. Like the villains are not united either.
No, they're all in different directions. And I mean, at first nobody knew Neo was there. Well, that's changed now because
which only the rest of Team Juniper and Oscar know she's there, which Blake and Yang will soon find out.
We'll soon know, and then everybody else is gonna know.
Yeah. So this is another reason why I don't think Cinder is going to succeed in getting the Winter Maiden powers. Back at Beacon, the favor was in her court. She had Emerald and Mercury there to help her. She had the element of surprise, pretty much. She had the Grim. She had the White Fang and Adam there. Just all that was playing to her favor to get Amber's power. Here, though, her being there kind of got spoiled. Like, they know she's there. They know to be aware of her. Salem's on her way, but it's not exactly to help Cinder. Hazel, Emerald, and Mercury, as far as we know, are back at the hideout unless they come riding in on the gorillas.
Oh, I doubt that.
That would be hilarious.
For the fact we've already seen some turns in Emerald, so.
Yeah.
But and Neo's there, but
Neo might be done for all we know.
And I can guarantee even if she's not, she's like, I still believe she's gonna turn on Cinder.
Yeah, I do too. Like,
she's not gonna come to her rescue.
No, because you can't.
She kind of treats her like crap, if you ask me.
Yeah, you can't get rid of all the villains this soon.
That's why I come up with I have something's gonna cause Neo to at some point.
Well, here.
Disappear.
This is my little theory for the villains so far. Now, if this comes true, who knows? If not, oh well. With Volume 6, we learned that RWBY are not scared to kill off villains. Which, I mean, they're villains. They're supposed to be killed off eventually. You can't expect the heroes to always die, and the villains always win, you know. Cinder, I think, is going to fail. But she could also succeed, and it further turns her into a Grim. And then she meets her end in Volume 8. Neo, I do think there is a good chance she is going to turn on Cinder. It might be her who kills Cinder, and she becomes the Fall Maiden because Cinder would think of Neo at the last minute because she's the one who killed her, like, you know, the betrayal or whatever.
But I still think, like, with currently where each of them are, if Cinder were to, you know, try to get help from Neo, obviously she could.
Yeah.
But also, I think something after, you know, probably a fight with Aang, I still believe that something could happen where Neo turned around, sees what's going on, and does what she usually does.
And runs away.
Runs away. It makes a copy of herself, and then it shatters. So, which we know she does, and that would create something between her and Cinder. Like...
Watts, I think, is done.
I think he's gone.
Yeah, because I really just don't see what else they could do with him after Atlas.
Because his technology is lost everywhere else.
Yeah. So I think Ironwood killed Watts. If he didn't, we'll find out in the finale. Tyrion, I think Tyrion is about to be done. Seriously, I think. Bless him. I want to say it'll be in the finale. Maybe Crow and Robin do catch up to him already in the finale, and they kill Tyrion. And in his dying moments, he sees Salem and her Grim show up or whatever. Maybe.
And he laughs and dies.
Yeah, I could see Tyrion ending that way. I can
see that.
Who else was there? There ain't no telling what they're going to do with Hazel, Emerald, and Mercury at this point.
Because
they're not even in this volume.
Here's the other thing with Tyrion, though. Like, because with Watts gone, if that precious tail gets taken, that's defenseless. Like, he's left defenseless, and he can't.
Well, he still has his semblance and his weapons.
He does, but his tail he uses to his advantage. Yeah. And once that tail's gone, well, there's no new tail a second time.
Yeah. It's just what an episode. I enjoyed it. I really thought it was a great episode. Everything was there. So yeah, I mean, it's an hour and 30. You got anything else to say? Well, guys, this is pretty much our next to last analysis video. I mean, next week's the finale. Then we'll be on hiatus. And
so we're working on some videos.
Yeah,
both RWBY and non.
Yeah, I've still got some Let's Play episodes to record. Which next episode was originally going to be on Monday, but I think it'll already be up by the time this goes up, which will be on Monday. So yeah, it'll be up on Sunday instead. But you guys already know that because it's already been posted. But yeah, we've got some stuff planned. I'm definitely going to be focusing on Let's Plays during the hiatus. If we get some big RWBY news, like, if a member of RWBY says something, or when RTX rolls around, we will definitely cover everything that we see or hear.
Kind of like if we've, what's his name with the Dragon Ball? Any real news.
Yeah. Yeah, like, we're not going to report on theories or all that. Like, if we
we come up with a theory, yeah, that's different. But any fake news, we're gonna research before we do it. But yeah, we'll probably, if we discover some news from RWBY or something, and actually find proof of it, we will actually turn around and do a video and actually go into it.
Yeah, though that probably won't happen for a good few months after the volume ends, because usually, I think last year, news for Volume 7 didn't start sprouting up until about April, I think. I think that's when they started recording. So, yeah, there's that.
If our subscription box ever comes back into stock, though we did find a second one, so that's 2.
Yeah. We'll do stuff like that.
We've actually been looking into some that we can order for 1 month online, so if there's any that you guys want to see us unbox, leave us a comment. So we'll look into it. I mean, it probably won't happen right away, but then again, the boxes take time to get people, but they're usually never more than like $25.
Yep. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Please be nice to each other. If you guys did, hit the like button. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell. All of our links are in the description down below. Our Twitter, Patreon, if you want to support us on there, it'd really help us out a lot, because we really want to grow this channel more.
And build a new setup so that we can actually bring you better and more detailed content.
Everything else is down there. Etsy store, Square store, Facebook, our email, all that stuff. So, once again, hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.